Good morning. It being 9:30-ish, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Long Range Capital Planning and Utilization Committee. Start off with, I will accept a motion for minutes for the September 29th meeting. Motion's been
Move
made,
approval. A second.
made and seconded.
Now you moved approval, right, Representative Faulkner?
I'd be glad to move approval, yes.
And second, please?
Representative
Thank you
Bogart.
very much.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, we have none. Moving on to new business. Under RSA 4-39-C, disposal of highway or turnpike funded real estate. Long Range Capital Planning 25-044. Department of Transportation is up.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Eric Sargent. I'm Redway Bureau Administrator for Department of Transportation. I'm starting off with item 2544. The department is requesting to sell 4 parcels of state-owned land in Conway consisting of 445.6 acres for a total of $355,000 to the town of Conway. Additionally, if the town declines to move forward with the sale, the department requests the right to list the subject parcels on the open market. The selected realtor would receive a real estate commission at the closing of a sale approved by Governor and Council. And also an administrative fee of $1,100 will be assessed. Conditions of the sale will include the requester be required to obtain all local and state land use approvals before closing. Additionally, a 30-foot offset from the state-owned railroad right-of-way will also be retained to match the existing railroad right-of-way. And the requester shall work with the reputable land steward or the town conservation commission, as the intended use is to be conservation, which is in line with the original intended purpose of the mitigation for the now dissolved Conway Bypass project. Department solicited interest from New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority and received a letter of no interest. I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Representative Bogart.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for taking my question. I was just curious as to how they came up with the pricing for the 445 acres of land.
Thank you for the question. This was done by a department's appraiser, taking in all applicable practices, appraisal practices into account. The land was looked at as being having a conservation easement on the property. As again, the intended use is to be used by the town of Conway in the conservation area. So because of the conservation easement restrictions on the properties is why we have a value of the $355,000.
Follow up.
Is there ability to remove it from conservation easement?
I believe the intent is to sell it with the conservation easement on the properties in perpetuity.
And follow
Follow
up.
up.
And that would follow if the town of Conway doesn't wish to purchase it, then it goes to the open market. Would that be the same intent? The reason why I'm asking, that seems to be a very lucrative price at $797 per acre in comparison to a lot of other property in the Conway area and what it's going for. And so that's why I was curious about that.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It is because the conservation, and it will remain with that is the intent, is to have it remain with the property, even if we go to open market.
Thank you.
Representative Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My understanding is that this property is part of a mitigation for a previous highway project. Is it subject to an agreement with Federal Highway or some other federal agency in terms of approval for prior funds? Is that the source of the restriction?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, these properties were acquired originally for the Conway Bypass project as mitigation lands for the highway. Now that the project has been formally dissolved, is why we're moving forward with disposing this. But any lands that were acquired with federal funds, the federal highway will need to be reimbursed, and there are certain stipulations that will have to be followed to be able to sell at lesser than fair market value. That would have to be approved by federal highway as well.
Follow up?
Can I follow on? Thank you. So conservation easement that's anticipated would allow for removal of timber on a managed forest basis. Is that your understanding?
Yes, that is the intended, is to have a managed forest, yes.
All right, thank you.
Senator McConkey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Always impressed by my fellow Public Works members' questions. Answer took most of my questions from me. Would it be possible to get your standard release that you use with property for something to continue on to conservation so I can understand what's in there?
Thank you for the question. So just to clarify, you want to see the language that we're going to use? Yes, and certainly can provide that to the committee.
Thank you.
Senator Pearl? I'm sorry? Not just yet. Representative Newman.
Thank you. Thank you. If I missed it in the paperwork, I apologize. I'm sorry. If I missed it in the paperwork, I apologize. But is there a time frame where the requester has to make a decision on whether they're going to move forward or not?
I thank you for the question. I don't believe it was stated, and it's always that they will go through the process of trying to get secure fundings. We always try to work with the municipalities when they're interested in land and are lenient on the time frame. But once they have the decision that they cannot secure the funding is when we would move forward with listing on the open market.
Thank you.
Senator Pearl has made a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 25-045.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The department requests approval to sell a state-owned parcel of land in Madison consisting of 1.15 acres. The department will enter into a listing agreement for 1 year with Badger, Peabody, and Smith Realty and list the property for $79,000 in the open market. A real estate commission will be awarded after the closing of the sale is approved by the governor and council, and an administrative fee of $1,100 will be assessed. Conditions of the sale will include the buyer obtaining any and all local state approvals before closing. A 30-foot wide trail easement will be reserved for the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. And per New Hampshire statute, the department will solicit interest with the town and New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority.
Any questions? Representative Newman.
The response. Thank you. There may or may not be any remaining septic or well on the property from the from the dwelling that was there. And if there is something, that's the buyer's responsibility to figure it out and work around it.
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, we have not confirmed if there is anything left, but yes, it will be the responsibility of the successful buyer.
Representative Faulkner.
Thank you. I see that the real estate broker is a little bit less optimistic about the market value. What happens if the best bid or the best price is well below the 79,000? Is there a cutoff point for when minimum price that you accept?
Thank you for the question. Yes, we can sell within 10% less of what we intend, of what we list here today. And if that is the case, if we aren't successful staying within that range, we will come back to long range and for request to sell at a reduced price.
Any further questions? Senator Lang. I'm sorry, Senator Pearl. Motion's been made and seconded by Senator McConkey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Don't feel too bad, Senator Pearl. I called Senator Lang, Senator Pearl. Oh, there you go. Moving on to LRCP 25-048. And this is all from the Conway closing down, sir?
The previous property this is a Chesterfield property.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The department requests approval to sell the state-owned land in Chesterfield consisting of 1.78 acres, which was originally acquired for the realignment of New Hampshire Route 9. The sale would be to one of two direct abutters for a contributory value of $7,800. An administrative fee of $1,100 would be assessed. Conditions of the sale would include the buyer commissioning a licensed land surveyor to prepare a boundary survey and depict the limits of New Hampshire Route 9 right-of-way. No additional access points will be granted through the New Hampshire Route 9 controlled access right-of-way. 2 drainage easements were reserved to accommodate existing Route 9 drainage features. PSNH will retain the existing rights and easements, and the grantees will also be responsible for obtaining any local state approvals, including but not limited to subdivision approvals. Per New Hampshire statute, the department will also solicit interest from the town and New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority.
Any questions? Seeing none, Senator Pearl. Motion has been made and seconded by Senator McConkey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, LRCP 25-049. Proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The department requests approval to sell a state-owned parcel of land in Madison consisting of 6.13 acres of land that was originally acquired for the Conway Bypass project. The sale will be direct to Mark Olson for $17,000. In the event the requester declines to move forward with the sale, the department also requests approval to list the property on open market. A real estate commission would be awarded after closing of the approved sale by Governor and Council. An administrative fee of $1,100 will also be assessed. Conditions of the sale will include the buyer obtaining any and all local state approvals before closing. The property shall be subject to a perpetual trail easement and right-of-way benefiting the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. An existing easement benefiting PSNH will be conveyed with the land, and per New Hampshire statute, the department will solicit interest from the town and New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority.
Any questions? I just have one. Once again, this is part of the Conway Bypass project closing down.
Correct.
About how many other properties do you think we have that are still out there pending after this disposal? Quite a few still?
We still have a few. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. We do have a few, and we are working actively on getting these pulled together so we can get those disposed of well and bring them to the next long-range meeting.
Thank you very much. Representative Bogert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for taking my question. My question is, the state of New Hampshire purchased this land in the beginning from previous owners. Are we recuperating at least the value of what we bought it for?
Thank you for the question. This value was determined by an appraisal for fair market value. So I apologize, I do not have the dollar amount in front of me on what we originally acquired the lands for, but this is determined to be a fair market value as we're required to by law.
Seeing no other questions, Senator Pearl. Moved and seconded.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Senator McConkey seconded? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, I thought I heard that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on under RSA 4:39. Bulk disposal of highway or turnpike funded real estate. LRCP 2022-002. Department of Transportation, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The department requests approval to bulk dispose of several improved properties in towns of Merrimack, Litchfield, and Hudson that were originally acquired for the circumferential project, highway project. These parcels would be sold directly to either the town, New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority, the existing tenants, or by entering into listing agreements with pre-qualified realtors. The department intends to sell these parcels at fair market value with a listing price no less than the assessed value of each parcel. Fair market value will be determined by either a current market analysis or appraisal. The 22 parcels will be assessed an administrative fee of $1,100. These properties were originally acquired for the proposed circumferential highway project. However, after further studies, the department has determined the need in construction of the project is no longer feasible. Therefore, the department is in the process of formally dissolving the project. As a condition of the sale, the buyer will be responsible for obtaining any and all local state approvals, including but not limited to subdivision approvals. Per New Hampshire statute, the department has solicited interest from the towns of New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority. The towns of Litchfield and Merrimack and New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority have stated that they have no interest in acquiring these subject properties. The department has not received response from the town of Hudson as of yet. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Representative Faulkner first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You've indicated that you would not accept anything less than the current tax assessed values. Is that the actual value assessed by the town, or is it the equalized value as based on the equalized ratios set by the DRA?
Thank you for the question. For what's listed here is the actual assessed values, right? We wanted to have some kind of value brought to bring to the committee. It is our full intent to have, as I said, either a fair market established. We just want to reassure that we're not going to be selling less than what's assessed values today.
Representative Newman.
Yes, thank you. On the very first one, 35 Wasson Road, there's a house on that property that is currently owned, occupied, leased, rented, or is this?
Yes.
And there's, I think there's others with dwellings on them.
Yes, thank you. These are all, thank you for the question. These are all improved properties, meaning they have either single-family homes or condominium units, and they are currently rented. We have notified the tenants that we will be terminating their lease by the end of May. We are working through this process. One reason why we've already reached out to the towns in New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority is to try to get their interest determined early. We're trying to work with the current tenants to allow them the opportunity to acquire these properties before we list them on open market. So they are currently rented, and we're making every effort again to try to not have to displace them.
Follow up.
Just quickly, thank you for that explanation. Would they be given an official right of first refusal then through the process?
Yes, so what, by statute, as you know, we have to offer it to the towns and then to New Hampshire Housing. And so we are putting together a letter to identify the fact that we've received no interest from those, and we are now giving them the opportunity to acquire. We're putting a couple of stipulations in there, what they need to, show proof of financial means and that, the like of that. So having them provide this information and notify us of their interest. And we're assuring them if they are interested, we're going to work with them to be able to sell that property to them before we list on the open market.
I have a question then. I'm just curious, and I've had a number of people reach out and ask me this, and I had no explanation for it. How does the DOT come around to being landlords all this time?
Thank you for the
22
question.
parcels of
Yes.
land, and most of them have housing on it.
Yeah. These were all acquired as either within the corridor or within an alternative corridor for the circumferential project. So because that project status has been remained somewhat active for these years is why we've held on to these properties. We could not dispose the properties until we have officially dissolved the project, made a finding that the project is no longer necessary.
Stunning. Representative Newman. You're sitting right in front of Representative Faulkner's sign and my angle here, and I keep on going.
Thank you. Just following up on the chairman's question. So years ago, when these properties were acquired, they've increased in value over the years. When and how they get sold and disposed of, does the DOT get to keep the profits of anything? Do you get to keep all the money, some of the money, just the profits?
Yes, thank you for the question. If any federal monies were involved, we'll have to reimburse them for their share, but also this is, monies will go back to our Turnpike Fund, as this was going to be a Turnpike project. So this will help, those monies will help, any monies we recuperate will help fund future transportation projects.
Senator Pearl. Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
This RSA 4:40, just plain old disposal of real estate. LRCP 25-050, still the Department Transportation.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you for this opportunity. I am Louis Barker from the Bureau of Rail and Transit, the railroad planner and property manager. Sitting with me is Nicole Bryant, the Bureau's administrator. I'd like to begin my presentation.
Please.
Okay, the Department of Transportation, pursuant to provisions of RSA 440, requests to lease approximately 0.63 acres in the town of Greenfield on the Hillsborough Railroad corridor for $5,500 with a 5-year renewal provision. There will be an administrative fee of $1,100 charged. Miss Kelly, the owner of the property abutting the corridor, runs an equestrian business there, and she has requested permission to lease a triangular piece of property adjoining hers for either parking or additional grazing area, because it is a field, for her horses. We reviewed the location, quite familiar with it. It will not impact the railroad. There will be no direct access to the railroad from that parcel because she has her own access, actually from both sides of the railroad to the immediate west. We went to the Council of Resource Development, got approval, and we request your consideration of this proposal.
Thank you, sir. Questions? Representative Bogart.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for taking my questions. And this could be for all the lease. So I'm just going to ask the question once because I think it pertains to them all. Number one, when the state leases the railroad property type situation, does the leasee have to maintain the area if it impacts the railroad? Are they responsible for that, or is the state still, like if it's a crossover or whatnot?
They will be responsible for maintaining the property, and there will be no ingress or egress to the railroad corridor to state property from this parcel. They will access it the other direction to Slip Road, town maintained road, or to their adjoining property. We intend to require them to have a fence to make sure any horses, animals, patrons are directed toward their own property.
Mr. Chairman,
follow-up.
follow-up? Thank you. Now, are they also required to have liability insurance
Yes,
for
sir.
the state of New Hampshire?
Yes,
not
sir.
Being responsible? Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none. Senator Pearl. Moved to, and seconded. by McConkey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to LRCP 25-053, Department of Administrative Services. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Honorable Committee. The department,
Please identify yourself, please.
oh, I'm sorry. My name is Jared Nyland, Real Property Asset Manager with the New Hampshire Department of Administrative Services.
Thank you.
The department this morning requests approval to grant on behalf of the state of New Hampshire to Public Service Company of New Hampshire doing business as Eversource Energy, a perpetual utility line easement over state land in Rochester located at 296 Rochester Hill Road to accommodate the installation of a new subsurface electrical distribution line to service the future Rochester Courthouse facility currently under construction on site. And secondly, the department requests a waiver of the $1,100 administrative fee required by RSA 440, subject to the conditions as specified in the request dated November 12th, 2025. The new courthouse facility has been under construction in Rochester for several months now. And they've reached the point where they need a transformer installed by Eversource in order to continue the construction to completion. And this easement will enable Eversource to install that transformer and install the distribution line and therefore finish the construction. Happy to take any questions.
Rather straightforward. Any questions? Representative Bogert.
Just one question. Is part of this lease, is there liability insurance to protect the state of New Hampshire if something happens? As we know, other people sometimes like to use these easements as trailways and stuff. So my question would be, how do we protect the state of New Hampshire?
Thank you, sir. This is an easement. It's not a lease. It's a perpetual right that we are granting to the utility company to bury their electrical line in our I believe it's going to be an R conduit. So it may be overhead, but it's most likely to be subsurface. So the easement area is going to be simply about a 20-foot wide strip that tracks the distribution line. It goes right along into what's going to be the driveway, the main driveway to the courthouse. So there's really no area that's other than just what's right next to the.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Senator Pearl took the words out of my mouth.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded by Senator McConkey. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, continuing with the Department of Administrative Services, LRCP 26-001, a use of premises agreement.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and the members of the committee. My name is Brian Young. I'm the Assistant Administrator for the Bureau Corps Facilities under Department of Administrative Services. The department wishes to lease out 300 square feet of state-owned space on the lower level of Rockingham County Superior Courthouse, located at 10 Route 125 in Brentwood, for the Rockingham County to use as office space. The agreement is retroactive for the period of January 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2028, for a total revenue of $9,891. The space being utilized by the county is a benefit to both the state and the county for functionality and efficiency of the court. The state does recuperate its operating cost of the space for this agreement. Thank you.
Any questions? Seeing none. Senator Pearl.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by McConkey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under RSA 4:40, disposing of real estate, and RSA 228:57A, leasing certain portions of railroad properties. The DOT is back up again. LRCP 25-046. Proceed, please.
Thank you. The department requests approval to enter into a lease with CE Realty Trust for 75 feet of railroad frontage on Lake Winnipesaukee for a private, non-commercial dock. The abutter is the owner of the property and meets the statutory requirements for a proposed lease. The lease fee will be $3,189.75 per year, plus a 50-year charge for a private pedestrian crossing. The total fees at $3,239.75 per year will result in a 5-year total of $16,198.75. The lease would be subject to governor and council retroactive approval because they started the process of the dock already. If you have any other, there will be an $1,100 fee per statute. Glad to entertain any questions.
Do we have any questions? Representative Bogert?
Is there liability insurance in this lease?
Absolutely. It's a major point of this process.
Seeing no further questions, Senator Pearl. Moved and seconded by Senator McConkey. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Long Range Capital Planning, item 25-047, Department of Transportation.
Thank you again, sir. The Department of Transportation, per statute, requests to enter into a lease with Needle Eye Association for 50 feet of railroad frontage on Lake Winnipesaukee for a private non-commercial dock. The lease fee will be $2,126.50 plus $50 for a private pedestrian crossing. The total fee at $2,176.50 per year will result in a $10,882.50 total, and also will be subject to a retroactive lease back to July 1st. There will be an $1,100 administrative fee assessed. The Needle Eye Association has a 50-foot right-of-way coming down from their housing properties, and they would have requested access to it's more of a landing than a dock, but we feel it is an acceptable operation, and as Representative Bogart's requested, there will be a liability insurance provision. Any other questions? Any questions? Be glad to answer.
Representative Faulkner is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What kind of an organization is Needle Eye Association? Is it?
It's a homeowners association.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? I can hear Senator Pearl from here. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, RSA 440, disposal of real estate, and RSA 228:67, disposition of acquired or abandoned rail properties. Long Range Capital Planning, item 25-051. Proceed, sir.
The Department of Transportation, pursuant to provisions RSA 440 and RSA 228:67, requests authorization to grant an easement for a private road and parcel of land of approximately 700 feet in length by 25 feet in width for approximately 0.4 acres of the state-owned Mountain Division Railroad corridor in the town of Carroll to Industrial Wireless for a total of $18,200. There will also be a one-time administrative fee of $1,100. At the beginning of the process, we received $500 toward that charge. Industrial Wireless is building a cell tower on a budding property, and there's a small brook called Mount Deception Brook that they have to cross, and there's an old existing highway bridge that was discontinued. The road was discontinued many years. That they are accessing that property from. We feel it's an acceptable use of the property. They will have maintenance requirements, which will alleviate the state of any exposure for this road. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask.
Do we have any questions? Mr. Shea?
I just have a quick question, just to clarify that the second item is separate from this item.
Yes, it's a separate item, but it's the exact same place. That's
Okay.
the fun of this presentation.
All right, just want to make sure that we're not going to vote on something that may need to be thought about afterwards. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
I'd like to entertain a motion by Senator Pearl.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to LRCP 25-052, continuation.
Thank you, sir. The Department of Transportation, pursuant to RSA 440 and RSA 228-67, requests authorization to grant an easement for a private road and over a parcel of land approximately 700 feet in length and 25 feet in width, 0.4 acres, over the state-owned mountain division. There's also a one-time assessment of a $1,100 administrative fee, which department has received $500. The remuneration will be $18,200 from the grantee. This is the fun part. As I said, it was a discontinued road. The Mount Deception Road was once a state highway, or at least a town highway. And when the railroad was constructed, there were 2 at-grade crossings. So the state, wanting to alleviate the risk, relocated what's now Route 302. Not needing that road, they discontinued it. Well, at the time, a predecessor in ownership to the Brooks property, probably a hotel. I don't have the details. I wasn't around then, even though I'm old enough, I think. But the long and the short of it, these individuals, this property's enjoyed the access over this Mount Deception Road for over 100 years. And we feel that this is a perfect opportunity to right I don't want to say a wrong, but to address a significant liability issue. So in concert with the previous applicant, we've gone to the Brooks family and we're going to do an easement for the identical property at an identical price. Do you have any questions? I feel free. I'd be glad to answer them.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be a question. Representative Faulkner.
Thank you. Is there or will there be a ongoing maintenance agreement between these?
Yeah, the condition of this easement will have provisions for taking care of the road, maintaining the bridge, and actually a part of the application was a temporary use agreement for industrial towers to replace the bridge. As I said, that bridge is probably over 100 years old, was probably built by the town, and we feel it's, we actually insisted as part of the TUA that they do an engineering evaluation. And they came back saying, yeah, we'll replace it. We don't want to accept any liability of fixing something that old. So there's going to be a new bridge and a maintained road, and the state will have an insurance provision included, liability indemnification provision.
Any further questions? Seeing none. Senator Pearl.
Second.
Rather long-winded approach. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Chairman and members of the committee, thank you much for your consideration of our requests.
Thank you, sir. Under miscellaneous, we have nothing. Under informational, we have 4 items. 25043 from the DOT, an informational update pertaining to LRCP 24-014. Okay, any questions regarding that?
So if you want a quick explanation,
Please,
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
I can
Shea.
just tell you. So
Can you cover all four of them for us, please?
I can certainly try.
Okay.
So the first request or informational item is from the Department of Transportation. It's a previous item that was approved by this committee, and at the time, the amount of the property that was going to be sold was about 4.7 acres. After further review, it was determined it was actually only 4.02 acres. So that would impact the assessed appraised value. And that's what the department wanted to make this committee aware of, is that they're not going to try to sell the lesser acreage for 940,000, but actually for 805,000. So it's an informational, and if there's not, if the committee's okay with all that, nothing has to happen because you've already approved the disposal.
Mr. Chair.
Senator
Oh, you
Cloutier.
want to wait? Okay. Yeah, should we though maybe take a revote on this since to me, it's dramatic reduction. That's the only thing. I'm a little concerned about that.
I think it's proportional to the amount of land. So it is proportional to what it was. And if we would have had the figure of 4.02 acres instead of 4.7, I'm sure they would have presented this. So I see no reason to revote this matter.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
And then the last three informational items are from the Council on Resources and Development. So that group reviews property that agencies would like to dispose of, and they provide a letter of their recommendations on certain properties, some of which you have seen, some you may be seeing in the future.
Anything else for anyone? Mr. Shea, can you help us set the date of our next meeting?
March 16th at 9:30 in this room.
Everybody okay with that? Correct? And I think I hear Senator Pearl one more time. I'll second that. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank God you were here, Howard. Otherwise, we'd be up. Well, first of all, yeah. We always go to the